This video is sponsored by Sony Handycam. A motorized camera on a smartphone. That sounds gimmicky alright, but hold on to your grounds, because the Oppo N3 has been our favorite Chinese smartphone. Despite having compared with the Galaxy Note 4 previously, the phone continues to be one of our favorite daily driver. I'm Warren from KLGadgetGuy. This is the Oppo N3 full review. It's been a while since we have unboxed the Oppo N3 and I had used it extensively in the review period. The N3 is Oppo's latest crown jewel in its smartphone lineup. What makes the N-series smartphone lineup really special is about its rotating camera module, which Samsung has given up in the early feature phone days. Oppo hasn't actually cared too much about the phone's aesthetics this time. The phone measures 9.5mm thick and weighs 192 grams, which makes it an absolute brick in our pockets. And what Oppo really wants you to do is to insert a lanyard over the phone's bottom arc and hang it over your neck. Otherwise, just keep the phone in your bag if you have one. The phone may not be the most charming smartphone that Oppo has ever produced. However, it does have some luxurious attributes. The steel frame that runs around the phone and the fox ladder around the camera and earpiece makes the phone look really good when viewed closely. And you definitely won't miss that skyline notification light, which is also present on the Find 7. The N3 sports last year's flagship internals, and it remains great at this point of time. A Snapdragon 801 2.3GHz quad-core CPU, 2GB of RAM, 32GB internal memory expandable with microSD, 5.5-inch Full HD IPS display, 3000 mAh battery, and supports dual SIM, Wi-Fi 802.11 AC, Bluetooth 4LE, NFC, and 4G LTE networks. Compared to its predecessor, the N3's display is much smaller and has a higher pixel density. While touch response and screen brightness is excellent, multi-touch isn't great if you are playing FPS games, as it is limited to 2 maximum touch points, which kind of surprised us. The phone's power button and volume rockers are located at the same level despite at different locations, making it great to use for both right and left-handed users. Having used the Oppo R5 in our previous review, Oppo's software experience is even more enjoyable on the Oppo N3. Thanks to the Snapdragon 801 CPU, ColorOS performed brilliantly with smooth, elegant transitions that kept me long enough on the screen. I'm able to browse my news feeds, sending text messages, and browse the web with pleasure on that huge display, and that performance just keeps me going on and on with the phone. The N3 could heat up when under heavy load, but dissipates heat fast once idle. Some users might be disappointed that the phone might not be as manageable as some larger screen smartphones. However, in most cases, you should be able to use the device just fine with the help of Oppo's famous gesture controls. The fingerprint sensor works fine for us, and is definitely one of the best that we have ever come across, which you can even have it enabled on apps if you don't want people to access them. Oppo has also included the O-Click Bluetooth remote control that lets you control music playback and acts as a phone finder at the same time. One of my favorite features on the N3 is music playback. Oppo's music player is beautiful, and audio has been enhanced by Max Audio, which can be configured to my liking, and sound effects are active on all applications. At this point of time, there has been no news of the N3 receiving the Android Lollipop update. However, let's hope Oppo doesn't keep us waiting. Now, let's move on to the main feature of the N3, the rotating camera. First, the company's decision to maintain its rotating camera on modern smartphones is a brilliant move when most people prefer to use the main camera for taking high-quality shots. Oppo has upgraded the N3's camera to a 16MP Schneider certified camera and motorized the 206-degree motorized mechanism this time. While this feature might sound really gimmicky at first, it becomes extremely useful when you can't reach the camera with your hands at times. The motorized camera can be controlled with the fingerprint sensor, swiping your fingers on the display, and using the O-Click, which also acts as a remote shutter. Since the camera shares the very same position with the earpiece, it is smart enough to rotate back in position when answering a phone call. The motorized camera sadly works on Oppo's camera app, though we have already anticipated that to happen. Oppo's Pure Image 2.0 imaging engine has worked well in taking great daytime pictures, with great color saturation and detail. However, when it comes to low-light photography, make sure you have extremely steady hands, as the camera easily loses its focus and causes blur due to the lack of OIS. Your selfies will also look great with the phone's Plethora range of beauty modes. Video recording is unfortunately disappointing on the phone. While the lack of 4K video recording resolution isn't a major issue, audio quality just isn't acceptable, and we think it might be a software glitch. Here's how it looks like. Benchmark results on the Oppo N3 remains on par with other Snapdragon 801 powered devices out there. The device works fine and reliable in real-world usage, while we wish Oppo could have made the device better by offering the higher clock Snapdragon 801 chip and 3GB of RAM. Battery life is decent, in which I managed to squeeze 16 to 18 hours of juice, or sometimes exceeding a day in mixed usage. Call quality is pretty good on the Oppo N3. However, you might actually find the form factor to be a little cumbersome when holding up the top for long durations. 4G LTE works fast on the Maxis LTE network. We have seen many Chinese flagships out there. In fact, too many with very similar hardware internals. The Oppo N3 may not feature the most beautiful hardware design out there. Its killer motorized camera is the feature you should really check out. It has made smartphone photography easier and interesting with its range of shooting modes. The phone's audio quality is also noteworthy as well. We also have to conclude that ColorOS is probably one of the most reliable Chinese smartphone launchers that we have ever come across, despite not possessing much customizability. The Oppo N3 retails at 2098 ringgit. If you want a unique looking smartphone that does great photography tricks, the Oppo N3 is a recommended purchase. We give it a score of 8.1 out of 10. As usual folks, thanks for checking out the video review of the Oppo N3. The full written article is available over at KLGadgetGuy.com, so make sure you visit our site at KLGadgetGuy.com and the description link down below, or else click on the card on top to actually access our site. So if you would like to see more videos from us, do click on the subscribe button right here and follow us on social media, Facebook, Google+, Instagram and Twitter at KLGadgetGuy. Once again, my name is Warren and I'll see you next time in our next video. That's it for now, and I'll see you again.